Alright, everyone. So, it's been a minute since we looked into the wall, or the line, whatever the frick it was called, which was like a huge project, apparently, in Saudi Arabia that was going to, like, completely terraform the desert. And I want to see what's going on with it. So, let's check it out.
The world's largest construction project, known simply as the Line, has already started to leave its mark on the Arabian desert. Saudi Arabia's billionaire crown prince wants the 170-kilometer-long megacity to be visible with the naked eye from space. Satellite images show how the landscape is transforming. Where there was once sand and rock, you can make out deep trenches, thousands of trucks and excavators, and entire new towns. Workers and their families are already promoting their new lives here on social media. But satellite pictures also show us villages that have been wiped from the map.
Wait, what? Oh, what, to like make room for the new project?
Neom is being built on Saudi blood.
And the controversial project appears to be struggling, with media reports of cancelled contracts, scaled back construction,
On Saudi
Wait, what?
blood.
and the controversial project appears to be struggling, with media reports of cancelled contracts.
Damn, they canceled the desalinization plant? So no free water?
Scaled back construction, and spiralling costs. Plans to welcome the first residents to the line back in 2024 never materialized. So is building what architects told us is essentially a giant greenhouse in one of the hottest and driest places on Earth really a good idea?
We're talking about some of the hottest temperatures ever recorded in this part of the world.
We analysed the very latest satellite views from above and spoke to experts
Would I want to live in the line? No, I absolutely wouldn't.
to find out if Saudi Arabia's desert dream stands a chance of being anything more than just a mirage.
Well, I mean, it sort of seems like
The
they just
line-
built another town. It doesn't seem like they... It doesn't seem like they actually, like, are making the line. It seems like they just built another town.
Is the brainchild of Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS for short. In 2023, he told the Discovery Channel that he will build his extraordinary megacity against all odds.
They say in a lot of projects that happen in Saudi Arabia, it can be done. This is very ambitious. They can't keep saying that, and we can't keep proving them wrong.
The multi-billionaire prince is no stranger to
Well, as long as he actually does it, he'll prove him wrong, yeah.
lavish spending and futuristic construction
But already, they failed at the freaking desalinization plant. I guess they canceled that. So no free water.
projects. It's all part of his Vision 2030 plan to diversify Saudi's economy away from fossil fuels and into sports, entertainment, technology and tourism. In fact, this whole region, dubbed NEOM in 2017, is going to be home to an array of fantastical projects, like Sindala, a once barren island just off the coast that has already been transformed into a luxury beach destination, with hotels, a golf course, beach club and marina. And work has started in the mountains on what MBS hopes will one day be a desert ski resort called Trojena. And here the clock is ticking, the resort needs to be ready by 2029,
A desert ski resort?
when it will host the Asian Winter Games. The mountains don't get much rain and even less snow,
I'd imagine it'd have to be the artificial snow generators, right? Where they take large amounts of water and, like, freeze it and send it into the air?
so it will need to rely almost entirely on the artificial kind.
Yeah.
Of course, MBS already has his own palace complex in Neom, with private beaches, lush green gardens, a golf course, and 10 helipads. Construction on the line began in October 2021. What we can see on satellite imagery today is a giant scar cutting inland from the Red Sea through the mountains and out the other side. But
Okay, so they
beyond the
made a
epic
scar.
earthworks, there's little sign of the megacity presented in glossy promotional videos. Just think, a skyscraper city that runs uninterrupted for 170 kilometers. That's the distance between Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., or Naples to Rome.
So the line is designed to be a city like no other city that's ever been built. Everyone thinks the line's a building. It's not. It's a frame. It's a city, and it has a framework and a grid structure to it.
The glass-clad monster is also supposed to be 500 meters high and 200 meters wide. To give you an idea of what a mirrored glass wall in the desert might look like, take a look at this. The Moriah concert venue built by the Saudis in 2019. This is the largest mirrored building in the world, for now, but it is only 3 stories or 26 meters high. If built, the line will be one of the top 10 tallest buildings in the world, and by far the longest. Animations produced by Neom promise suspended gardens, waterfalls cascading down buildings, and all your daily needs within a 5-minute walk. A high-speed train is planned to take citizens from one end to the other in just 20 minutes. There are even flying taxis. In fact, prototypes recently took to the air at this facility just 4 kilometers from the line.
Oh,
One
sweet!
consultant who worked on the mega project
Let's go! I
told
want a
Business
flying
Insider
taxi!
that the city is designed with a wealthy minority in mind. Yet the line promises to eventually house 9 million people within a footprint of just 34 square kilometers. That's more than 5 times the population of Manhattan in just over half the space. And according to Neom, this is what Manhattan would look like if it was squashed into the same footprint as the line. It might seem crazy, but urban planners say we do need to rethink how cities grow.
Yeah, no duh! That's freaking terrible, but nobody wants to spend the money to do it. Plus, there's
In the
already
last
buildings
75
there,
years,
there's
city
people living in the
populations have
houses.
rapidly expanded. More than half the world, 4.4 billion people, now live in cities. And the UN predicts it will be nearly 7 billion by 2050. But this expansion is not sustainable. Look at the rapid growth of Las Vegas in this time-lapse of NASA satellite imagery. Or Lagos, Nigeria, over a period of 40 years. And Paris has expanded 200 times in size since 1800, even though its population today is only 22 times bigger. The team at Neom believe that cities need a reset.
The cities are falling into the trap of the traffic jams, the pollution, a social
They
disconnect.
need a reset. What do you mean? Wait, hold on. What do you mean by that? We have to take them all out. They all gotta go. There's too many people. No, hold on. Wait, what do you mean?
If humanity is not ambitious in this precise moment, when are we going to be ambitious?
The line is designed as a solution to both urban sprawl and population explosion, as MBS told the Discovery Channel in 2023.
The population gonna jump in Saudi Arabia from today 33 million in 2030, something between 50 to 55 million. That's raised very important question that we need to create new city.
Supporters of the line have praised MBS for being bold and innovative.
The energy within Saudi Arabia at the moment is incredible. I think Neom is, the pinnacle of that change, and it's really exciting to be part of that.
But not everyone is convinced by the design.
The greatest architects and environmentalists were visionary. They pushed the boundaries. We need to build globally. Why would you do it line?
For thousands of years, we've mostly built cities that have dense, walkable centers.
The only real, I'm trying to think here, unless we're about to start going with the mega buildings of, Cyberpunk, where it's the freaking, 3, 4, 5-story high buildings all interconnected. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell you're gonna do exactly.
Upwards over time in a circle.
Walkable interaction is the basis of cities. Businesses happen historically and now where you get easy interaction between people.
And if a city
Plus, you have to also think about the fact that there's people who just, can't use stairs and stuff, so building vertically tends to, bring its own set of challenges.
Size of the line were instead built in a circle, more people would be in walking distance of each other. And what many people love about city living is the buzz of unpredictability.
London, New York, Bangkok, They are big, they are messy, and you find all these fascinating places. The thing with the line, it lacks imagination, actually at the level of experience.
Shape aside, will anyone actually want to live in an enclosed linear city in the desert?
There's no precedent for a city where millions of people live in a building and may not go outside. Something like the line would be a massive social, psychological experiment.
This is not the first grand plan for a linear city, but history shows us that they rarely make it off the drawing board. Toward the end
Why
of the
is that
19th
actually?
century, urban planner Arturo Soria proposed a 55-kilometre-long central tramline in Madrid, with houses on either side, but only around 5 kilometres were ever built. And it's now absorbed into the sprawl of Madrid. Around 30 years later, Edgar Chambliss designed Road Town, a linear city with a monorail below ground and a walkway at the top. In the 1960s, two Princeton University professors devised the Jersey Corridor, a 32-kilometre linear city featuring two parallel buildings running between New Brunswick and Trenton. They hoped the city could one day stretch from Boston to Washington, D.C., but neither of these American dreams ever made it to brick and mortar. Perhaps the closest example we have to
Is there any
something
particular
like the
reason for
line
that, though?
is Corviale, a 1-kilometre-long social housing block in Rome for 8,000 people. Never fully completed, it fell on hard times.
It's like the ultimate apartment building.
And this is what it looks like today. It seems MBS is undeterred by history. According to the Wall Street Journal, when urban planners suggested alternative designs, the Crown Prince brushed them aside.
Mega.
Wait, so the design wasn't like built because of some like good reason? It's just because he liked it?
Projects and mega cities have always, they often include a desire by a government to portray power or equity or some other ideology to a national or global audience.
But there is evidence that MBS's ambition may be stalling. Satellite images from May 2023 show earthworks in full swing across the length of the line. Almost a year later, Bloomberg reported that the line was being scaled back and workers dismissed. Recent satellite imagery does appear to show less activity on the ground. The focus for now is a section of the
That's not good. That's really not great.
line called the Hidden Marina, where residents will be able to sail under the city and then straight out to sea. NEOM executives call it the largest excavation project in the world, moving over 90 million cubic meters of material. But it is now understood that only this 2.4-kilometer section of the line is expected to be built by 2030, instead of the full 170 kilometers.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't be the first Saudi mega project to hit the brakes. Ambitious plans to build the world's tallest building, the Burj Jeddah, have been on hold since 2018, following a number of arrests of senior figures involved in the project as part of an anti-corruption crackdown. Construction on the 1-kilometer high structure only restarted in January 2025. While Saudi authorities claim
There
it
had to
was
be freaking
always the
corruption in
plan
that,
to build
really.
the line in modules, others suspect
But we can't
funding
have nice
challenges.
things.
Over the last year, reports of experts have indicated that the country might be starting to feel some strain of the financial pressure of the project, with some plans scaled back. Oil price and resulting revenues have also been lower in the last year or so. Saudi Arabia also hoped foreign investment would prop up a lot of the spiraling costs, but experts have said that this may not have reached the kingdom's desired levels.
Analysts estimate that it could cost more than $2 trillion to build the full line, 4 times the original budget. But already progress on the line has come
How cheap did y'all think it was gonna be?
at a human cost. This region has been home
Wait,
to the
what?
Kuwait 4 times the original budget. But already progress on the line has come at
Now, Saudi forces told to kill to clear land for Eco City.
a
Oh,
human
great.
cost. This region has been home to the Huaytat tribe.
Well, it's good to know. It's good to know that they're freaking starting off on the right foot, and then they wonder why. And they wonder why their freaking projects fall off.
For centuries, a Bedouin people known for their horse riding skills. Satellite photographs from 2020 show the Huaytat villages of Al Kurayba, Sharma, and Gayal located close to the path of the line. But in these images from 2024, they're gone. In January 2020, residents of these villages were served eviction notices. They protested on social media, posting videos with the hashtag Huaytat against displacement. Human rights group Al-Kest has been monitoring the evictions closely and say the majority of the 20,000 Huaytat tribe members have been displaced.
Many videos show that security forces were violent with the locals to force them out, and many people fled to their houses.
But not everyone.
Yeah, I get the feeling you're not going to get a whole lot of overseas funding with that kind of attitude.
Fled. Abdul Rahim, a government employee at the Ministry of Finance, decided to take a stand.
مع الجيوب هذه شوف مداهمين البيت لاني بس ما ابغى اسجل اسمي في الترحيل ولا ابغى اوقع. يعني انا ما اشوف اكبر عندي، ما في شيء اكبر من خروجي من ارضي ومن ديرتي. كل ما بعدها هين، سواء السجن حتى القتل يعني انا ما استغرب لو يجوا ممكن يقتلوني في بيتي الان.
According to Al-Kest, on April the 13th, he was shot and killed by Saudi special forces. Saudi authorities claim that he fired first and labeled him a terrorist.
There is no evidence whatsoever of him shooting first. Since Mohammed bin Salman came to power, everyone that is deemed or seen as a potential threat or a dissident will be charged under terrorism charges, and all trials are held behind.
Damn, and what's worse is that it's all for a freaking building that they're probably not even gonna freaking finish making. It's gonna get abandoned like every other project.
Why this lack of transparency? So anyone who mourned him online was arrested.
Al-Kest say 47 tribe members have been
arrested. Anyone who freaking mourned him was arrested?
Including many of Abdul Rahim's relatives. They say 3 have received severe prison sentences and 3 others are sentenced to death. Reports of intimidation and inhumane evictions have not gone unnoticed. The UN sent an open letter to the Saudi government concerned about the harsh treatment of the Huaytat, including reports of torture.
Oh good, at least the UN sent them a letter. That'll help. That'll fix it.
Campaign groups like Al-Kest have applied pressure to international companies contracted by NEOM. Most are staying put. Not UK-based Solar Water, which pulled out of a contract to build a solar-powered desalination plant in 2022. The founder and chief technology officer told us he was appalled by the treatment of the Huaytat.
You cannot move people.
Oh, I thought they pulled out because they couldn't afford it or something.
Away from the homeland. I was very upset. All the villages, fishing villages along the coast, they're no longer there.
Human rights groups and trade unions have also drawn attention to thousands of cases of exploitation of workers on Saudi megaprojects, including NEOM. A documentary by ITV reports that as many as 21,000 migrant workers from Nepal, Bangladesh and India may have died in Saudi since the launch of the 2030 vision in 2016.
Damn!
If Saudi Arabia's pledge to uphold human rights as part of this vision is under scrutiny, so too are its promises of sustainability. The world's number 2 oil-producing country has pledged to generate half its energy with renewables by 2030, but in 2023 it was still at less than 1%. And in the NEOM
well, that's okay, it's a slow start, but they're gonna catch up.
Region, they're looking to meet 100% of their energy needs with renewable power. Solar farms can already be seen in satellite images here, close to the workers' camps. And a new wind farm can be seen emerging from the desert here, further north. The energy needs now, and for a future megacity, are off the charts. According to NEOM, the whole region, including the line, will need over 100 terawatt-hours of power a year by 2030. That's similar to the annual electricity consumption of the Philippines.
you were going to build the most efficient city, build a gridded city that's 6 to 10 stories tall, with lots of shade and lots of solar panels and parks.
But even if the running of the line can one day be, as promised, emissions-free, the construction is far from it.
Every square metre we built, whether it's a line or a detached house, anything, has an environmental impact.
It took around 8 years to build One World Trade Center in New York. The line would be the equivalent of building thousands. It took around 8 years to build One World Trade Center in New York. The line would be the equivalent of building thousands of them. And the taller a building, the higher its carbon footprint, requiring stronger materials such as steel and concrete to withstand the force of the wind.
Concrete is incredibly carbon intensive. Steel is incredibly carbon intensive.
Professor Oldfield has estimated that building the line would generate more than 1.8 billion tons of carbon dioxide, equivalent to 4 years' worth of the UK's total emissions.
Even if you were to build a normal city of 6 to 8 stories tall, it would have a very big carbon footprint. I think it's just going to be double or even treble with the line because of its height, because of its structural gymnastics, because of its kind of hedonistic design, is going to have a material requirement which contributes to greenhouse gas emissions.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like, how, like, you gotta grow all of this junk on something. You can't just sort of, like, make it appear. Like, where are you gonna get all that dirt, all the freaking fertilizer, the seed? Like, you need to have everything.
And then, once built, this giant glass, steel and concrete structure that designers say will blend into the landscape will need to be kept cool enough for people to live inside it.
Well, one of the biggest problems is that it's essentially a big greenhouse.
They need a bunch
now,
of water.
You don't need to have a PhD in physics to understand what happens when sunlight hits glass. It heats up.
Compare that to traditional Saudi buildings, which are made of mud, stone and clay and designed to be naturally cool.
The irony of Neom is that although it's presented as
really
being
cool
this
too, though.
futuristic city, it's a lazy city. The architectures are lazy. Before the fossil fuel boom, architectures were generally a lot harder working. They were built to keep heat in or keep it out.
If they can't keep the heat out, the consequences could be deadly. In June 2024, Saudi Arabia was hit by an extreme
there's like water
heat
that runs
wave.
through it all.
Over 1,300 people died on the Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca, where temperatures reached over 50 degrees Celsius. 2024 was the hottest year on record. And scientists predict that average temperatures in Saudi are likely to go up by 2 degrees Celsius by the middle of the century.
Bro, they feel like global warming real
Perhaps
hard
the
over
most
there.
precious resource in a desert megacity is water. The region gets around 6 centimeters of rainfall a year. And it's estimated that 4/5 of Saudi's ancient underground aquifer have been sucked dry by desert farming in the last 3 decades alone. Currently, more than half of Saudi's water is supplied by energy-hungry desalination plants, which spew out an estimated 60 million tons of CO2 per year. Salty waste brine is then often discharged back into the sea, harming marine life. Neom has said renewable energy will power 100% of the desalination plants, something that has never been achieved before. With ambitious plans for regreening the desert and growing crops, finding sustainable water is still a crucial issue facing the line. Conservationists also see the line as a death trap for wildlife. Take a look at this map of bird migrations through the region. Around 2.1 billion birds from over 100 different species, including endangered ones, pass through the area.
Bird collisions with glass.
Wait, so you're saying that the concern now is that all these birds are just gonna be flying into the freaking wall? Just pa, 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 pa. Imagine just living in your apartment, chilling, hanging out, and then suddenly you just like, what the hell was that? And just, you look out your window and a freaking pelican just slammed into your freaking...
Is an enormous problem. You know, the figures in the States are in the many hundreds of millions a year, and that's just one nation.
Back on the construction site, little by little, progress is being made. The latest satellite images of the hidden marina show a new excavation in progress, and hundreds of trucks busy shifting dirt. NEOM executives have admitted it may take 100 years to complete and fill the line, but now there is a more concrete date in the diary. A stadium suspended 350 meters high up on the skyscraper is to be one of the official venues of the 2034 World Cup.
Damn, no comment. No commento. It's a wild one. It was an interesting thing to hear about, but unfortunately it sounds like, at least as of yet, not much progress. Well, plenty of progress. Nothing quite ready to show for it, I would say. The idea came from a nose candy moment at an elite party. Possibly. It just sucks that so many people got affected by it too. Especially the natives. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe. And become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!